Tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings everyone. It's my privilege today to let you know what's been happening in South New Zealand over these last 5 years. We have to go back to 2020, which for many of us, and I think most of us will remember, as quite a tough time. There was a lot of challenges. For the first time in a generation, many of us had to experience being locked away, stuck at home, and not being able to see the people that we saw every day, including our church families. It was almost immediately that as a conference we were able to respond with online streaming services. Many of these were done just from our lounge rooms and living rooms. However, by coming together and working as a conference with our pastors and also with all of our churches as well, these weekly services were able to take place. Not only church services though, but we were also able to have programs for our youth. On Friday nights, the South New Zealand and North New Zealand youth departments gathered together, which was a place for young people to come, even though they were in isolation, and meet together. After a few months, we all got the hang of online, and soon churches were running their own streams, but also Zoom meetings where members were gatherings for Sabbath school and church and all sorts of programs, and the conference streams stopped and we transitioned to local churches. After a whole year of doing this though, and with being in and out of lockdowns, in January of 22, we had our first ever online regional with Pastor John Bradshaw. It was a chance for us to gather all together as a conference, acknowledge the hard year that it had been, but also look forward to the future as well. It wasn't long after that we were able to finally confirm that Big Camp 2023 was going to go ahead, and excited to finally be able to start planning that much anticipated event that had been cancelled during that period. Pastor John agreed to come and be our speaker for that, and shortly after would then come also back to New Zealand to help us with our first evangelism event after COVID, which was Unbreakable Hope, partnering with Hope Channel and seeing churches right across New Zealand in the South Island and the North partner together to get outreach started again. Another major focus has been for us the upskilling and support of our entire pastoral team. We've sought professional development opportunities for our pastors wherever we see them. We especially try to find areas where the pastor has an interest or would like to upskill in an area, or that is specific to their ministry context and that will help them in their ministry at their local church. As well as upskilling, we also want to support, and we've done that through professional supervision. This is an external person that the pastors meet with hopefully once a month to talk through their ministry, offload things that are difficult and work through problems so that the pastors themselves get better outcomes, but also their families and also local church. We've also sought to get our ministers together more regularly, and while Zoom started out as something we had to use, in recent times, we have got our pastors gathering each week on Zoom for prayer, updates, training, and just to be able to support one another and connect no matter where they are in the conference. Finally, we still get our ministers together every year, at least twice, for our little in-person mini retreats, where we spend time just being together, talking, praying, and working through the things that we do at a local church, but also just hanging out as well. As well as our ministers retreat, we've also been having a spouse retreat for our partners in ministry. They are an integral part of what we do at our local churches, and we've wanted to create a space for them to be able to connect with each other, tell their own stories, get to know one another, but also have some time of rest and rejuvenation. Another main focus for these last 5 years has been training our own people for ministry at the local church, but also missionally for the community. House to House was launched during this period, which started off as a resource for people meeting for church at home. It's since transitioned to a resource for small groups, with a year's worth of curriculum and ideas for how to run a group at home, but it also stands at the ready should church ever be disrupted again. Another program that we started and an initiative that we've been really excited about is Anchored, which is our conference leadership training weekend. This is to equip our people and leaders specifically for whatever season might come or whatever they might encounter, but as they lead through those seasons, to ensure that they always do anchor to Christ. The weekend is full of combined sessions. We have sessions for young people, but also many workshops where they can talk through many of the challenges that they face at the local church and leave equipped. Anchored now happens every year, either as a standalone event or as workshops during Big Camp. Something that we've really seen people be enthusiastic for in the last couple of years since we've been able to come back together have been for our retreats. In the last few years, we've run retreats for men, women, but also couples as well. And as people have come together, we've seen how eager they are Firstly, to engage with one another again and reconnect, but also to connect with God and to be equipped for their lives, marriages, and the issues that they face every day. Another highlight for us has been the continued growth of our ministries to young people. Adventurers and Pathfinder clubs right around the conference have continued to grow, with a number of new clubs starting as well. At our schools, both here in Christchurch and in Invercargill, we've seen steady growth under the dedicated leadership of awesome principals, teachers, and chaplains. Another role we've created for our conference has been our children and youth discipleship leader. Pastor James Mello from the USA currently fills this position and has been working with a dedicated group of young people to ensure that discipleship is part and parcel of how we look after our young people in South New Zealand. During this last quinquennium, South New Zealand Conference has continued to grow. Our ministry team has had to grow as well, and this has only been possible through the faithfulness and generosity of all of our churches. We don't want to stop here though. We know that there is so much more to do. And so as we move into this next season, we've been asking ourselves, where is God leading us? What is it that He has next in store? For the last 7 years, South New Zealand's vision has been to be a movement of growing disciples who know, live, and serve Jesus. We have loved this vision, we've loved this God-given vision, and to see how God has led us to take the steps that we have as we've embraced this vision and lived it out. However, we've also realized that things are changing. The world has changed. And while our mission will always stay the same, how we live that out and how we achieve that needs to shift. And so for this next season, after much prayer and consultation, especially working with our ministers, the conference has adopted a new vision for this next season, which is to be loved and loving people, courageously following Jesus, trusting, growing, and sharing. We're so excited by this vision that God has given us, and we're looking forward to see what He's going to do in this next season. Please pray for South New Zealand, and just know that we'll be praying for you as well.